Okay, back to Havdalah. This one interesting thing, it was very practical during COVID. If you can't smell, if you don't have a smell, then you can't make a bracha on the psamim, because it's a bracha tanen, and if you make a bracha on the psamim and you can't smell it, you basically made a bracha in vain. So, remember there's one time, Bekeshel bracha many years ago, if I remember correctly, but I'm sure it is correctly, that once a Mitzvah Yom Tov is Mitzvah Shabbos, and the Rebbe didn't smell the psamim. He made a bracha by Meish, but he didn't do the psamim. They were saying that, and the reason is probably the Rebbe had a bad cold and he couldn't smell it. If you can't smell it, you can't make the bracha. Okay, we're also talking about. What is the? You just Other people say it, but you don't say it. A lot of people during COVID couldn't do taste and smell, so you're asking. Yes, I'm saying, so if you smell it a little bit, you can make a bracha, but if you don't smell it at all, then you can't make a bracha. Now, what happens if you didn't have psamim at the time you made Havdalah? So you can make the bracha b'minei psamim a whole Saturday night until dawn. 72 minutes before sunrise, you can still make the bracha of b'minei psamim. Once it's, after that, it's too late already. Now what happens if you don't have any wine? Whatever reason is. So you still make a bracha on the psamim. You still make a bracha on the psamim and on the candle. In other words,
but without the Havdalah.
Obviously you don't have wine to make Havdalah, but you still make a bracha b'minei psamim. You still make a bracha b'minei eish. Now technically everybody's obligated to do b'minei eish. Men and women. Obviously if you can't smell, you don't make a bracha. Now what can you use for psamim? You can use basically, the minig is in most places you use cloves. But you can use, let's say, an esfig, but then you would have to make a different bracha. You don't make a bracha b'minei psamim on perfumes or air fresheners. That you can't make a bracha b'minei psamim.
Even if it's derived from natural?
Yeah.
When you make the bracha on the object doesn't have a smell?
Then you say Baruch Shem Kvei Malchus and what?
Don't we let it lose?
No, because you're not supposed to smell without a bracha. Perot you can make, but then you have to make a bracha Neisin Rech Teiv Bapeiris.
Yeah.
But even though Al Pidin, if you say b'minei psamim and anything, it's a bracha that's good for everything. Okay, next is the Havdalah candle. Now we're talking about the psamim. So why? I did not say that. I said they make very b'minei psamim. Now, on the Havdalah candle, again, we learned what the reason why he did, because the fire was created that night. What happens if somebody said, not Beidim, Bada Me'ere Eish, also Yetzer.
Even if you say Parabara?
Even if you say the past tense, yes, because it's still part of the same bracha. Okay, again, if you didn't do the bracha on the candle, you could do it until Sunday morning, at dawn. Now, the best thing to use for Havdalah candle is beeswax. But technically, you can even take 2 matches. Strike 2 matches together, and you can do b'minei eish, and even on 2 matches. Or if you have, ideally, you're supposed to make it on 2 candles, because then you have me'erei ha'esh, then it's like a wick, so you have 2 types of fires. What happens, though, if somebody only has 1 fire? You could still make the bracha b'nei me'erei ha'esh. Even though me'erei is plural, and you only have 1 candle, 1 fire, but nevertheless it says the reason, because each fire has different colors. There's yellow and blue and white. So the bracha b'nei me'erei ha'esh l'chatchila goes on 2 different candles that you hold together. You can't make it on 2 candles that are away from each other. You have to put them together, and then you say b'nei me'erei ha'esh, and then Even if you don't,
Two candles, you can do on one.
huh?
You do on one.
If you don't have two candles, you could do it on one. Okay. Now, a lot of women, like we said, they don't make a Ber Me'esh for whatever the same reason, like Kiddush Levana. A person, God forbid, who's blind can't make Ber Me'esh because he doesn't have the, huh? He can still do some, yeah.
But they don't do it all, or they can do it.
What? They could, no, they don't do Ber Me'esh because they don't see it. Oh, women? No, the women don't make a bracha and they don't do it. Both don't do both. Again, many places, most places, it says women do it. In our custom, basically, not officially, but unofficially, women don't do it. Okay, now, single flame, we said you can make a bracha. What happens if another important thing, interestingly, the light has to be done for something that was used for light. For instance, they bring down, here, a fire that was kindled for the purpose of cooking, a yahrzeit candle, or even, the candles by the chazan's place, you don't make a Ber Me'esh over them. Because the bracha is on the original purpose of having light. These candles were lit not for light. They can leave for cooking or for neshama or for... So it has to be on a candle that you lit for light. Okay.
There's something that comes from natural sources, like rose water, like perfume.
I didn't say perfume. Rose water is not perfume, or it's not room deodorizer. You can make a bracha on rose water.
Like perfume, perfume. Like if perfume is made from jasmine or any other flower.
And jasmine itself you can make. They're right in the perfume that you don't. I don't know why. Even if it's natural, you don't make a bracha Ber Me'esh. Okay, now there's a whole shaila on halacha. Can you make a bracha on electric, whatever? You have no fire at all. Can you make a bracha Ber Me'esh? So the poskim hold you could. Some people say you shouldn't. It's better to wait until you get actually a match or a thing like that.
You can, yes.
Huh?
You can't, so you're not going to have...
The best thing would be probably to say B'lei Shema Malchus, because there's a machlekes if you could say it on the Mashal Shabbos candles. We hold that you could make on electric lights, because the purpose is to have light, and they did give light. Here it's the creation of fire, so. On a gas? Yeah, but not if it's made for cooking. If you turn it on, not for cooking. If you turn it on for that, then you could. But if the fire's on already for cooking, let's say the fire's on from before Shabbos to cook, then you can't. Okay, that's that. Okay, we discussed how to do it. We go not from long distance thing. Okay, now. Okay, Tisha B'Av falls out Motzei Shabbos, then you don't make Havdalah, you just do the Ber Me'esh. Okay, next din over here is what's called the din of Malav Malka. Malav Malka is really what's called Malav Dimalka, but like everything else, Shalosh Shudis is really Shalosh Su'udis, so quickly say Shalosh Shudis. Yamalka is really Yarei Malka. When you say it fast, it's Yamalka. So, the thing, the Malav Malka. It's actually, literally it means you're escorting the queen. Shabbos is Shabbos Malka, so Shabbos is the queen. And when Shabbos leaves, you escort the queen away with a meal. Many people, in fact, have a minig. It's not a Chabad minig necessarily, but many people have a minig. They even light 2 candles. Shabbat, no bracha. They just say 2 candles on the table. Technically, you should eat Malav Malka. According to certain opinions, you're supposed to eat bread and some other cooked food. People have a minhag of drinking water from a well. This Alter Rebbe brings down. If you drink water from a well on Motzei Shabbos. Why? Because it says Miriam's well. Every Motzei Shabbos goes around the world underneath. But don't ask me what it means. That's what it says. And if you drink water from a well, and if you're lucky that Miriam's well happened to be in that well that you took water from, it's unbelievable mazel tika thing.
How about Perrier?
Perrier?
Yeah, it comes from my house.
But it's only if you bottle it Mitzvah Shabbos.
So you can be with McDonald's?
Yeah, as it says, if you can't eat bread, you can eat mezainis, just at least some fruit. Some people have a minig of drinking chamin Mitzvah Shabbos. It can be yaitzis according to certain opinions with tea or coffee.
Why do some people smell the candle?
Why do people, okay, yeah, we should have mentioned this. When you finish Havdalah, you extinguish the candle, you pour out a little bit of wine, and then people go like this. Okay? That is brought down in Shulchan Aruch.
What is that?
Why do you go like this? So the Alter Rebbe says it's called chivuv mitzvah. To show that you love the mitzvah of Havdalah, in the Yiddish it's an expression of a full levach. And a full week, you want to show that you love mitzvahs. The same thing that it's brought down, that the Rebbe Rashab told his wife, there's a Yiddish minig, you don't spend money Mitzvah Shabbos. In other words, you don't pay bills Mitzvah Shabbos. You want to go eat pizza, I guess you could do it. But you don't pay bills, you don't give out money Saturday night. So the Rebbe Rashab told his Rebbitzin, always on Friday, if you need money, ask for it now, because Mitzvah Shabbos we don't give out money. So you need the money for Mitzvah Shabbos, ask for it now. Mitzvah, why? You don't want to start a full week spending money. It's not a mazel dika thing to spend money. So, it's very interesting. The Rebbe,
Somebody come for zakah?
That's a mitzvah that you have to give tzedakah. But there's another, what?
Like Rosh Hashanah, the first night dictate what's happened the whole year.
Yeah, the Mitzvah Shabbos is like the full week, the Rosh Hashanah of the week. Yeah, it has an impact on the whole week, right? Now, there's very interesting, different customs. Saturday night, do you wear your Shabbos clothing or you don't wear your Shabbos clothing? So it's brought down that the Rebbe Rashab, the second Shabbos was over, changed out of his Shabbos garments. He didn't want to wear Shabbos garments during the week. The Rebbe did wear Big Day Shabbos, Mitzvah Shabbos. The times the Rebbe came back to 770, and the Rebbe was wearing, then he didn't wear Zaydens all week, but then he wore Zaydens and Shabbos, and the Rebbe would wear Zayden Mitzvah Shabbos. What?
That's the Yiddish word?
Zayn is silk, a silk kapata, not the regular wool.
Some people, they want to make Shabbat longer.
Yes, so some people have a minhag that they don't take off the Big Day Shabbos until after Malav Malka. Some people have a minhag to wear a gartel a whole Mitzvah Shabbos. I've seen that. Some people wear a gartel a whole Mitzvah Shabbos. It is what it is, but it's interesting. The Rebbe was more meticulous about washing for Malav Malka than he was for eating Suda Shabbos. It's known, we saw that ourselves, so he didn't have to be a Navi to know there are times the Rebbe didn't wash Shabbos for Suda Shabbos. But neither did half of us, now half of the guys either. I'll explain to you why in a second. But Mitzvah Shabbos, the Rebbe was always very strict to make sure to wash from Malav Malka, because Malav Malka has to do the Yisidos of Mashiach. It's the Suda of Mashiach, and Malav Malka, Shabbos, Mashiach. So Malav Malka has to do with Sudas of Malka Mashiach. The Rebbe always called Sudas of the Malka Mashiach. It always had to do with Mashiach. So the Rebbe would always wash. Now it came out a lot of times, especially winter, during the winter, when Shabbos was over, early, so the Rebbe would come out to Fabring 1:30, okay? And the Rebbe usually, in the winter time, ended up Fabringing until after Shkia. So B'chlal, guys, before the Fabring, would go either home and make Kiddush, some guys ate a little bit, but the guys hung around 770, there was wine and mezainis, and that's what you had before the Fabring. So the Rebbe would daven Ma'ariv Mitzvah Shabbos, after Mincha, we daven Mincha after Shkia, and then right away we daven Ma'ariv, and then everybody went home to eat the Shabbos. So everybody had Shalom to Mitzvah Shabbos, and that was the whole thing, the whole winter. Every time there was, in the last years there was Fabringen every week. practically. So that was, that was it. So guys didn't always end up eating Suda Shabbos. How can you be Yaitz Suda Shabbos without washing? There is Alter Rebbe in the first Chelik of Shulchan Aruch, in Kufay and Ches. There's a comment on the side from the Alter Rebbe's brother, that because in Shulchan Aruch it says, you must wash for Suda Shabbos. But then on the side, the Alter Rebbe's brother, the Maril, writes that Shemaiti mimenu shebeseif yom of chozer bay, and he said you don't have to wash for Suda Shabbos because you mentioned Shabbos in Alamichi anyway. But there is a tshuva in Samach Tzedek that says you should wash anyway. It is. You saw Machat Shinazon Ma'asem Mechel Beibel Mayin Kim Shvela Gal Tira. The name of Kashi Merat Gedvach Zak Sofi Rebel Am Termis Shnamar Adina Chabet Zaman Sitka